Greetings. Well, we're 7 days, 1 week from the official launch of, Buen Camino, what a hike through Spain taught me about investing and life. So I'm anxious to have this book be made available to you. So I want to read to you a section from a chapter called My Way on the Highway. The book actually opens up with me telling a story of what happened on July 24th, and that's only 5 days into my walk on the Camino de Santiago. And yet I was deeply impacted already because at on July 24th, I wanted to record a thank you video that my assistant would send out the next day on July 25th, because July 25th is the anniversary of Bernhardt Wealth Management. And I wanted to send this heartfelt thank you message to our clients, because without our clients, we wouldn't exist. So I sat there, I sat in the plaza of this village trying to record a video, and every time I hit record on my video to say something, I would choke up and I was tearful. Just one is that to be so indebted, to be so thankful to our clients, but this journey was impacting me so much already that I just, again, it felt like I wanted to say thanks, but it was just, again, it was difficult to finally record this. I probably had to stop 4 or 5 or 6 times before I finally got a video that didn't have me choking up too badly. So I wanted to share that with you. The second thing I wanted to share with you is a section that in that chapter calls the importance of informed advice. And this has to do with when I attempted to run the Marine Corps Marathon. So let's begin. I hadn't trained for a long distance run, but despite that, I decided that completing a marathon meant that you had to run the entire 26.2 miles. I had no coach, and I didn't ask for advice from anyone who had successfully completed a marathon. But I thought I knew what finishing a marathon meant, and I was determined to do it the right way. I began to train on my own to prepare and ended up injuring my knee. The most unfortunate part of it was that if I had consulted a coach or an experienced marathon runner, I would have learned that there is no rule against walking part of a marathon, a half marathon, a 5K, or any other running event. In fact, Runner's World columnist Jeff Galloway, Olympic running coach Bobby McGee, and LifetimeRun.com national training manager Rebecca Mayer are just a few of the experienced long-distance runners and coaches who actually advise runners to adopt a walk-run strategy in their races. Mayer, in fact, completed her very first marathon in the excellent time of 3 hours and 14 minutes, even though she walked part of the course. But I knew none of this at the time, and I injured my knee as a result, and sadly, my knee has never been the same. Now, there are two ways of viewing that experience. One is that I trained for my marathon even though I injured myself during my training. But the other view, and the one I think is more constructive, is that walking your walk or running your race doesn't exclude getting good advice from people who've been there before. This goes back to some of the things I mentioned in the previous chapter about taking advantage of the pioneers and those who left a trail to follow. Certainly one of the most valuable things I did to prepare for walking the Camino de Santiago was to read everything I could find, not only about the history of the pilgrimage, but the advice and words of wisdom from those who had already completed the journey. Now, those paragraphs are relevant to what we do for our clients and what we do for for our clients in this way, because I think if I had a nickel for every time an investor, this doesn't have to be a client, but every time somebody told me that, hey, this party is going to take the White House, and if they do that, I should do this. Or the other party is going to take the White House, and therefore I should do something completely different. Or this is going to happen in the economy, this is going to happen in the global world, and so therefore I should do certain things in the portfolio. And if I, like I said, if I had a nickel for every time somebody made those types of predictions and were wrong, I'd be pretty rich, actually. And we always try to counsel clients from, again, making those emotional types of responses to the portfolio, because it's time in the market. We know that for a fact. So getting wise advice, getting counsel, getting advice from that trusted wealth guide is so important in the wealth management world, but in life in general. So I just wanted to share that with you. So again, I hope you enjoy the book when it comes out, and Buen Camino.